Welcome to this week's edition of Black Authors Matter TV, where we interview the latest movers and shakers in the African American literary community. You'll meet some old friends, discover new ones, and stay abreast of the latest book developments around the country and even the world. So sit back and relax for the next 2 hours with Black Authors Matter TV co-hosts Gwen Richardson and Dr. Rhonda Lawson.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of Black Authors Matter TV. I'm your host for tonight, Gwen Richardson, and it is April 2nd. It's April already. So spring has sprung where I live in Houston. I know it's still cold some other places, but it'll be spring soon everywhere. So welcome to the show. And my co-host she's joining us now. So before we bring on our first guest, I had a few announcements, and I'll probably announce them later in the show for people who don't tune in right at the top of the show. First, our Black Authors Matter TV Awards voting is in progress right now. It ends this coming Thursday at midnight, and we announce the finalists next Tuesday at the 8:30 segment of the show, which is 9:30 on the East Coast. So those of you who are part of the voting process, you'll get to see if you are finalists. We have 14 categories, and we're excited about that. Rhonda, welcome to the show. You want to speak to our guests?
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, I was a minute or so late. I had to take care of my new publishing client.
This clients come first, and last time Rhonda had my back because I had to rehearse for our Good Friday and Easter programs. I'm in the choir, and so I appreciate that. And I missed you all. We had a great presentation on Friday and on Sunday. So the rest of the announcements I will do after this first interview, and our first guest is in the waiting room, so we'll bring him on. His name is Prince Dykes. And we have another amazing show this week, of course, like we have every week. He has wears several hats, and he is retired military also but he's not in the Army. He's retired Navy. So, Prince, welcome to Black Authors Matter TV.
Thank you for definitely having me on. Y'all can hear me pretty good and everything, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we definitely can hear you.
We can hear you clearly.
Too loud?
Oh, no, definitely not too loud. Definitely not.
I'm just teasing you.
I got all the stuff going on, all the good stuff.
Yeah, you have to have all your moving parts working when you do these live shows. So, and our show is live. It's not.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's live. So when it's live, anything can happen. But we've been fortunate we'll be celebrating 4 years soon.
I can't believe it's been that long.
It doesn't feel like 4 years at all. It went by really fast. So, Prince, you have a new book, and you focus on financial literacy. You have a podcast that you do weekly, and kind of like this. And that's your podcast, video or just audio? Financial literacy. You have a podcast, and you need to turn your device off.
Can you hear me? I was getting a little feedback.
Yeah, you can't have your sound up on your other device whenever device you have on. So,
oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was. I was trying to shit. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. It happened.
I'm in video and audio.
It's video and audio. Okay. And you deal with financial topics.
Yes.
And it's much needed. A lot of people don't get they don't grow up getting financial training or advice. And when they become adults, they just kind of wing it and make a lot of mistakes. So how did you what made you focus on finances as your topic of choice?
Yes. My career started out, if you previously here, I started out as a logistics specialist on submarines. And when I was a scuba diver as well, my path, when they was telling me it was time for me to go to school, they told me it was business, the job field I had in the military. So while I was in the military, I went off and got my associate's degree, bachelor's degree, MBA, all of the starting to learn these topics. I started to say, man, why didn't I know about these things? Why nobody told me about this? Like credit and insurance and why aren't we teaching this to kids? So instead of looking at the system, telling the system, hey, this is what you should do, whatever, blah, blah, I took it upon myself and I but at the time he probably was like 2 or 3. His name is Wesley. And we started on YouTube to get in. And in 2015, I wrote the first book titled Wesley Learns to Invest. 2017, Wesley learns about credit. Then I did Wesley learns about insurance, and now the fourth book comes out learns about real estate. So these adult topics that no matter where you go at in life, you would need to know these things. In the Global Children Financial Literacy Foundation, where we turn kids into first-time shareholders of stock, and kids, every kid when they walk into kindergarten to already have an investment account. So what we do, we take it out, we're grassrooted ourselves, and the kids read through our books on each book, and we turn them into first-time shareholders of stock. So that's kind of like in a nutshell. And with myself, my for-profit side, I'm a registered investment advisor as well. So it kind of goes hand in hand, adults every day. But then again, I turn around to the kids too and teach the kids because we're in the business of parenting.
Okay, I don't know if it's
Chris,
just me, but there's a
no,
little.
it's not. You're buffering, and like every 10 seconds, what you say cuts off, like for a couple of seconds, and then it picks back up. And because we post your interview, we send it to you, and we post it. Now our media manager will fix some of this. But do you have another device that you can, because it's buffering? Do you have a phone? Are you on the phone or you on your laptop?
On my phone, I'm on my desktop, but I could switch to my phone to see if that'll be a little bit
Yeah, because this is buffering.
okay.
So you're dropping off every,
Is it my audio freezing or is my
no,
It's your
your
fine.
audio is dropping off. You're not freezing, but your audio is clicking off, like it's dropping.
let me change out this microphone. It might
That's probably what it is. It's probably critical.
yeah, I try that.
Yeah, see, and we can't like every sentence you say, we don't get the whole sentence.
What about now? Can y'all hear me now?
Oh, that's much
Yeah,
better.
it happened, but it doesn't happen until you start talking. And I'll let you know if it happens again.
Okay.
No, you're fine. It was just the microphone. When you asked if we could hear you, you sounded perfect.
Got it.
But
Okay.
we did hear what you were saying. So you basically created, I believe you said, a 4-book series.
Yeah.
Each book has a different topic that has to do with money. So you're teaching Wesley learns investing and Wesley learns about credit. I think it's amazing. I think that the younger we start teaching our kids the value of money, the more that they will start to value it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
and
agree.
they'll see money the way it actually is. Because a lot of times, if you don't teach them that, and even families that have money, if you don't teach your children that money is not just to spend, because some kids just, and they become adults that just think money is to spend. They just spend every dollar they get. And some people, they spend more than they get, which means they borrow, or they owe people. They either get credit, no, they owe somebody. Now you still have that other device on because this is a 6-second delay or 5-second delay, so I can hear myself on a delay. So whatever other device you had, you have to turn the sound down.
It shouldn't be. Let me double check.
I don't know which sound, but we'll work with it. I just don't want because
turn.
what it does is it steps on what's being said.
Gotcha. I don't want. Okay.
So when it's live, anything can happen. That's
Like you sound. I think you sound good right
you
now.
sound fine. Yeah, the
Mhm.
audio's right now, and I just need to turn your device down so it wouldn't be picking up the feedback. So, how long have you had your financial literacy podcast?
Since I officially launched in 2013. So it's been 10 years. Yeah, I started back in 2013.
Oh, wow.
Way before it was cool. Way before it was cool.
Oh, okay. That's really
I
Yeah.
like that.
If finance wasn't a big topic back then and podcasting wasn't a thing.
right.
So, I was there when it was just like I was just a dude on YouTube, and then it turned into podcasting, and you had to get
Okay.
up, and so it became a thing later on. So, but yeah, I started it right after grad school in 2013.
Okay, so what day of the week do you have is it live or do you tape it?
It's taped. It's taped.
Okay.
So most of now sometimes I'm sporadic. I have two pieces where sometimes they're interview based, and sometimes I do tutorials, and sometimes I do live market reviews where I go through financial reports, news, new data reports that come out. It could be, data on the housing market, inflationary reports, consumer price index, things like that. So
Okay.
as of late, I haven't been able to really get to it like I wanted to. As of recently, with the whole book and preparing for this to come out and stuff like that. But that's usually what I do. So I do set interviews, but I do a lot of commentary on current market things too. So
Oh, okay.
and also too, all of my books, well, it's an animation as well too. It's a cartoon that's out there. Now it's not
So
the
the
best
cartoon's on
cartoon.
YouTube?
Yes, yes. So if you just Google in there, Wesley Learns to Invest, you see a couple episodes, and then this fourth book next week we're going to launch an entire new animation as well that goes along with the book, because we wanted to attack special needs children. So this fourth book, not every kid can read and comprehend like that. So some kids, they can watch and get the message as well. And also, this fourth book is in Spanish as well. So we have an English version, we have a Spanish version, and we have an animation as well. So we've been out here working now. We've been out here working.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see. So what inspired you to inspire children to find value in money at such a young age?
My son, Wesley, I became a dad in 2011, and he used to bring all these books home, and the books would be like the cat jumped over the hat, and Susie did I was just like, I was like, man, I'm like, dude, in about a couple years, you need to be knowing about investing, credit, insurance, real estate, taxes, and those things that just start, set in my head and say, hey, I'm going to do it myself. So I was like, hey, Wesley, it was a joke. I'm not going to lie. I thought it was funny. But oh, Wesley learns to invest, right? And then, it started to catch on. I started to catch on. I said, oh, okay, what about insurance? So and started collaborating with people. Then, everything was, grassroots. So he's an autistic boy. So with him, that's why I targeted, hey, let's create an animation, because he can watch the animation and know, and I can quiz him on certain things so he can pick up on different concepts like that too. So me becoming a father, that's my only son. So, me becoming a father he inspired me to inspire the world.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And our children do serve as a sources of inspiration for many
Is he
things.
teaching his friends about money now?
He is I think now he's more catching on to everything that's going on, because he started
How
when
old is he now?
now he just turned 13 now.
Okay.
So in the last couple of years, he's like, hold on, wait, because he's always saw books and images of himself, and he just thought everybody had books. Like, oh, this is what everybody does.
Oh, yeah.
Schools,
That's
he
yeah.
was like, oh, Dad is talking about me and he wants me to. But yes, he repeats, he started as a kid repeating everything I was saying. That now he's starting to pick up in his head of things like that. And all the books is a gym, real life gym that he does that I've done with him as well. So in West Learns About Real Estate is really the story of the family purchasing our first home. Us going from, and Wesley wanted to know, Dad, we already have a home. We always had a home, but we was renting that home. Now we're
Mhm.
purchasing. And then he becomes intrigued, and then it ties into the first book. We're talking about how buying our first home is an investment. Then, when he learned about Wesley Learns to Invest, then they had to run out credit that he learns in the second book. Oh, I remember what credit was. Now we have this home, we have to insure it. So he remember, oh, Wesley learns about insurance. So he becomes intrigued about this world of real estate, and he wants to get into real estate. And his mom had to get together and figure out how do we get a kid into real estate, real estate, We did it, we invested, and we did find a way, and it was a real life way that we did that. Hope that our parents follow in the, when people think about real estate, they think about homes and buildings and things like that. But it's another aspect you can do for children at a very young age too, that, someone had done for me.
Okay. Now, this new book, you
Mhm.
partnered with NFL Hall of Famer Terrell Davis.
Yes,
To,
yes. Uh, he, so during my military career, Denver was my last stop. So, I don't know if anybody out there is a Broncos fan, Denver Broncos. He was a Broncos legend that I grew up watching. And at the time I was doing my podcast, I just wanted him to come onto the podcast and we meet at an event he had at the Broncos Stadium. And I had two books at that time. I was writing the third one. And he said, Prince, I want to be in this book, make me a character, put me in this book,
Oh,
things like that. That's what's tied into the
oh,
Broncos Boys and Girls Club. So now for the fourth book, he called me again. Hey, it's been a long hiatus from my last book to this book. It's been 5 years. So
mhm.
I had a pretty big break there when
yeah,
I started to
that
write
is a pretty
again.
big break.
Yeah, yeah,
But
it was a
it
pretty,
happened.
and at the time, it was we turned into giving kids stocks and things like that. And then, we had the pandemic happen. And then also too, the industry now is more receptive of children's financial literacy
Right.
than it was 9, 10 years ago when I very first came out. They're like, what is this? What are you doing? What are you talking about? Now everybody's on the, hey, financial literacy. I'm like, you know what?
I was going to say that your series comes at a great time, because at one time we were saying, oh, let kids be kids, they can worry about money later. But
Hmm.
now there's a bigger move toward our children becoming financially literate at younger ages, and people are more receptive to hearing this information now.
Yeah, when I very first came out, I got a whole lot of. I couldn't get an interview. I couldn't. Nobody was like, "What are you doing?" And investing back in 2015, back in 2014 when I wrote the first book. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's more receptive to it. The books sell more. The books sell more now than they did. So I was like, maybe I need to crank out this pen and come back out and do this all over again. So Terrell called me and said, "Hey, you know what? I want to do it again. Put me in the book." This time he added his 3 kids into the book as well.
Nice.
Oh,
So
okay.
his kids are Wesley has friends now.
Oh, okay. What's the answer?
Mhm.
Okay. Um, Regarding the NFL, I'm a big football fan.
Oh, so
Um,
you should know Terrell then.
oh, I do. And
Okay.
and
Yes.
my former, see, I'm a Seattle, not personally, but I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan.
Oh,
And when Russell, I really liked Russell until he left and went to the Broncos. And so then I didn't like
and
him anymore. But now
and
he's going somewhere
I'm a
else.
New Orleans Saints fan,
oh,
and I was saying good riddance to Sean Payton.
oh, get rid of
Well, he was,
I had a chance
he's
to run
been
into
sport.
Russell. I did have a chance to run into Russell when he very, very first got here. And he does have the book series. We spoke about it. We talked about all the good stuff like that. And, Wesley got a chance to meet Russell. And even though it was a short stay at the time, but, yeah, things turned a little left pretty fast in Denver with Russ. So,
Yeah, it did. But you know what? when he was with Seattle, and everybody kept thinking it was the O-line that was the problem. And that wasn't the problem.
When y'all, Geno Smith looked real
problem-
good.
See, now we about to have a whole conversation. We're not doing this today, Gwen.
Well, he brought up the Broncos. I was just letting him know that yes, we do watch football, and it doesn't go over our head. And I've been a football fan a long time.
Yeah, I'm
long
kind
time.
of
I love the sport.
who Terrell was. That's
okay. That's what
Terrell.
Yeah, because some people are like, hey, oh, I'm not a football fan, or hey, I'm not familiar, things like that. So I have to ask and say, oh, you're Terrell, and so this book he has is him along with his kids and things like that. So us, that's how that can happen, like an organic, meeting, and he liked what we was doing, and hey, I really love these books. I think this is important. Why we don't teach this in the schools? And he said, hey, I want to partner with you on this. So I thought he was joking at first.
You said what now?
I said at first I thought he was joking, but then I realized like, oh wow, he's really serious. So we made it happen.
Well, I think it's great because we know at one time athletes didn't have a lot of financial savvy when it came to their money. And we saw more and more athletes who were rich when they were in their prime, and then when they retired, they lost it all. So I think it's great that you were able to partner with an athlete because it changes the conversation a bit.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like you said, once he opened that door, I don't know how many athletes I met now and done things with or whatever, but they, when you sit down and you listen to their story, it makes a lot of sense. They're like, hey, you're playing, your window is so small. You play 3, 4, 5 years, and then once you're done, money is going out, no money is coming in.
Yeah.
And you're in your 20s or late 20s, and money is going out. Everything is going. And if you don't find a way to, and then you try to make a couple investments, they don't really pan out, and you're back to square one, and everybody think you have 10 times more than what you really have. So, so
half of the money goes to taxes right off the top. So a lot of people don't, they don't, they hit these big numbers, but, and then when you're wealthy like that, and like a lot of the athletes, they're like the most successful person in their family, so a lot of times they're taking care of a lot of extended family, and immediate and extended family, and it's a lot. And yeah, it's a short window. So 5 years more or less. Some stay longer depending on how much they get hit. That's generally that's really the position. Your body runs out.
And every year they're bringing in new people. So
right, that's true too.
You're getting older,
and the younger ones are faster. The younger ones are faster. And I'm gonna say this one last thing. Rhonda Russell used to be running for his life, and he was good at it when he was younger. But once he got older, those young players, they could catch him.
I don't know, the players got faster or he got slower. I think it was a mix of both of those.
It could have been a mix. Well, now let me ask you this: when you're writing your books, like I said, I love the concept of the books, but how do you take such a huge concept like investments and money? Because a lot of times it flies right over adults' head. So how are you able to break this down into ways that children can understand?
I start off with my talking points first. What are my takeaways? What do I want you to take away out of this about real estate? What do I want kids to know about this? I want them to know about this, 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 and this, and this. So when I write down my takeaways, then I try to come up with a storyline of how to, how can I tell a storyline to hit all these topics and explain these topics through the storyline. And it does get difficult to where, some people are like, why would you use the word deductible? And I try to think of another way to dumb down the word deductible or premium. And I say, you know what? Let me just use this word, even though this kid won't know what it means. They don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm going to plant the seed at the youngest age. They're going to be like, it was something called premium. Why is a 6, 7, 8-year-old, somebody third grade talking about premium deductible? But guess what? How many of us can remember something our parents told us that are no longer here? It didn't make sense then. It didn't make sense then. But oh, I see what you were saying. Oh, we do got food at the house. I see what mom said. Hey, we need to. My mom said, hey, we need to. We know food at the house. We don't need to be doing. So things that you hear now, you plant those seeds to where I know my son is not going to be like real estate. I get it, Dad. It makes perfect sense. But I'm planting those seeds so when you get a little bit older and things start to click for you, you'll start. You'll start. Oh, I get what he was. I get what he was doing. So that's what makes it difficult, getting it down to those topics. But I try to come up with a concept, takeaways, and I don't do what I think is popular. I do what I think is important. So I feel like this is important. This is what you should do, and that's me.
Yeah. Children understand and pay attention to more than we think. I
Mhm.
mean, they really are listening, even though sometimes they act like they're not listening, but they will repeat your words. They'll repeat your words to somebody else. And claim it as their own. The things that you told them, they will repeat it to somebody else. And
That's
if they're going to do that, let's let it be something good and positive, because they'll do it if it's negative too. I mean, it
True.
works both ways. But they are sponges and they absorb and they take everything in. And I think it's great to teach them actual real life information they can use for the rest of their lives at a young age, rather than wait till they're 35 or 40 and then try to figure it
Gotta
out.
figure out, hey,
Yeah.
I don't know. We know every kid that walks into kindergarten will need to know about investing, credit, insurance, real estate, taxes, but nobody say anything about it. They
mhm.
just, in
And they're
America,
mad at them when they don't understand.
exactly. And why would you do that? And the thing in America, it is the financial system is very lineage based. Is if you're lucky enough to have a mom or grandma or auntie was up in an investment account for you and invest for you, good on you. But if you're born on
Right.
the other side of the tracks where you may be in foster, your dad may be I don't know, in jail, incarcerated or whatever, you don't get an investment account. Don't get an investment account. In the face, you can know all about it. You gotta wait until you turn 18 because you don't have someone to be your custodian. So that's it's those things that, hey, if you have a mom, dad, or uncle who went out and got you an insurance policy, who did things for you, great on you. Hey, sucks to be you. That's kind of how it is now. So our fight is to really level out the playing field, to say go in and say, hey, well, this is what we're going to do. Hey, parents, you go through these reading programs and things like that or whatever, and we're going to turn you to, not only we're going to just give you a book and talk about it, it's going to be tangible that we can look. You're going to get the S&P 500, top 500 companies in America, and to watch it grow. So, yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
age range for your books?
We go from 6 all the way to 76. So, but but it's really 6 to 12. But I think that everybody can get
Okay.
something out of it. But we target 6 to 12. Their audio, their ebooks, their paperbacks, their hardcovers,
Okay.
animations. We try to attack every way that you can absorb.
That's really, really good. I don't know what they teach about finances in the schools at all, but I remember either in fourth or fifth grade, we went to a bank.
Mhm.
I had very forward thinking teachers. They were just outstanding. It was a walking trip. We went on a walking trip to a bank. We went into the bank. They let us go into the vault. And then when we went back to class, we pretended like we were uh, depositing money into an account. It was like, I think we used Monopoly money or something like that. And all the kids, we learned how to write a check, and that was in fifth grade. So I don't know if they still do that. Teachers had more flexibility. Back when I was in elementary school, they could do a lot more innovative things outside the box. They really had more control in the class. But I hope that many, many thousands of children will get your books and learn about, and adults, because we can always, continue to learn as we get older, and we might think we know everything. We can always learn something, and sometimes it's something at the kids' level, but we as adults, we're learning it.
Well, we have a minute left, but I don't think we saw any of your books. Do you have any of your
No, do
books?
you have your book handy? Thank you, Ron.
Immediately on me, I think they're probably upstairs.
Okay.
But
You're in your office without your books?
no, I got everybody else's book except mine.
Well, the name of your most recent book is
But
it's in your name, so you're the author, and you have a kind of unusual name.
I know, right?
So,
Weird name. I was like, man, look at my mom. She really wanted to show out, huh? She want
well, but on the positive side, if somebody goes into Amazon and types
Yes.
your name in,
They go to
I
see
bet
it.
you there's no other Prince Dykes with books.
Or
So,
Google. If you put my name into Google, you'll see a little
okay.
group that looks like me pop up.
Okay.
But if you want to, what it does is when people purchase the books, it's what supports our foundation. So if you go to GCFLF, which is the acronym for Global Children Financial Literacy Foundation, and you can go over there and get the hardcover, the paperback. I think we got the ebooks over there, and we have not all the books. We just got the fourth book in Spanish, stuff like that. Or you can go to Audible, check out the books, follow us on YouTube. You probably see the Audible, the ebooks, the animation. So yes, we're there. So also on top of that too is what supports us to go out and to give stock. So we'll be at a school tomorrow upstairs. We'll be at a school tomorrow giving out books and stocks to kids. So that's one of the things we do. I want $500 to a child tomorrow, S&P 500 index. And we're going to give out, books there. We're going to give out, books there too. So, and, we're definitely appreciative for y'all having us on and, reaching out. So I definitely appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate what you're doing for our kids. Thank you so much. And thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and continued success.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay. Well, that was Prince Dykes, and he has financial literacy books for children, and it's a whole series. So check it out for your kids or grandkids or nieces, nephews, what have you, just children you know. Okay, before we bring on our next guest, I have one more now. I did say that the Black Authors Matter TV Awards voting is it ends midnight on Thursday, and we have 14 categories. You vote for the most compelling interview in each category, and we will announce the 5 finalists in each category next Tuesday on the show at 8:30. Also, the National Black Book Festival author registrations are open. We're now in standard registration. Early registration ended on Sunday night, and we are at 70% capacity. So I would encourage you, if you plan to come, don't procrastinate, because we are going to sell out early this year. Also, the Black Authors Matter Children's Book Awards process has begun. It continues through June 3rd as far as submissions. So if you have a children's book or you know someone with a children's book, have them go to Black Authors Matter Black Authors Matter Bookawards.com, and all the information is there. So we're bringing on our next guest, and his name is Victor McGlothin. Victor has been on the show before, but it was in the early, we can say the early days of the show. He was, I think he was on in 2021 or maybe even 2020. And he hasn't been on since then, but he has a new book. So we wanted to bring him back on to talk about this. And I think this is a new topic, although he kind of talked about this topic in his novels as fiction. This is a nonfiction book on this topic of dating. So, Victor, welcome to Black Authors Matter TV.
Thank you very much for having me on, Gwen. Is that Sister Lawson in the house?
Yeah.
Oh, you got some of us. That's my favorite right there.
It's good to see you again.
It is. It is. I thought it would be in person by now, but we'll work on that.
Yeah, we do have to work on that because we've been trying to do that for years.
Yeah, well, he was at the festival. I remember the year you were there, there was a football game, there was a homecoming game that weekend. So you had
Yeah,
to kind of sneak out.
yeah,
And
I,
that
I
was
was there.
before COVID. So that's been,
Ooh,
it
yeah.
was either 2019 or 2018. So that's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's time to do that again.
Yeah, it is. So your new book, Rules for Slaying the Dating Games. Now,
Yes.
what made you do a
Get the book
relationship
ready.
book?
Well, both of y'all have been around me enough to know, and Rhonda especially. I put a lot of relationships in my books, and then during the discussion at the book club meetings, the women's group meetings, or what have you, there'll always be some woman or several women saying, "I really like the way you put them together." Even when they hit rocky times, they figured it out, they talked through it, or they didn't, and this is why or why not. So now that we've read the book and we feel like we know you, because you know how people do when they read their book, they feel like they know you.
Mm-hmm.
I have a situation, or my girlfriend has a situation, or my cousin has a situation,
Oh,
and
okay.
her man isn't acting right, or she can't get him to do this, or whatever. Whether it's he can't please her in bed, or the way that they met weren't necessarily to her liking. There was something wrong with it, and so we just talk about it. And what I've learned is over doing this over 25 years is there are a lot of Black women who really don't have a guy that they can go to and talk to about anything, especially be vulnerable and be very trusting without the guy maybe coming back later using it against them, or the guy who wants to sleep with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm just a dude who shows up, who happens to know a lot about relationships and how they intertwine and so forth. So I'm safe. I'm safe space.
Okay, now speaking of safe space, I think a lot of women have issues with relationship books because, especially when they're written by men, because the man is basically telling the woman everything that she's doing wrong,
Right.
and basically talking down to her and saying this is why you ain't got no man, but they try to disguise it in a way where they're trying to give them advice, and it seems like they're actually being criticized.
Absolutely. Yeah. So there is 603 rules in this book. There's 55 chapters and 14 sections, and it's a very quick read. It's only 200 and some pages. And you won't find in there once to say, don't do this, you're doing this wrong. I only offer suggestions, very strong suggestions on perhaps you might want to consider doing it this way. And some women have said, you know what, I've been on the dating scene for a while. I've gotten divorced. I was in a long relationship, or I've never been married and I want to get married. I want to increase my chances and my odds of being in a serious relationship. I want to find my soulmate. And so after having those discussions for 25 years, I said it's time for me to stop answering all these questions in my DM and, and actually put it in a book. So I actually put it in a book. And so, yeah, so, you have it, there's breakout sections. There's everything from dating interracially. There's rules for dating a younger man, an older man, a man with money, a thrifty Romeo, or a quote unquote broke dude, but not all of them are broke.
What, a thrifty Romeo?
I know I never heard it put exactly like that. But okay,
Because
how do you define a thrifty Romeo?
yeah, in the book, it talks about guys who don't necessarily either have the funds or want to share their funds right away. They might want to meet at
So a
Starbucks.
cheap dude.
See, no, there you go.
Okay, now I'm playing with you, Victor. I just said that to be funny.
But I'm glad
it's
you
good.
don't.
It's good for a man to be frugal. You really, a woman may not realize this at the time. But if he's frugal, now I don't mean cheap, but he just watches his money and he's just not just throwing money at you, like, unless he's got, like, he's a millionaire, that's different.
Yeah.
But if he's a regular guy, he should be watching his pennies. And if
Yeah.
he's not, that's going to be a problem later on. You might think he's doing, y'all are having fun and going out, doing stuff, but underneath the surface, the dude's irresponsible.
And it shows, because a lot of guys who lead with their money think that money is the carrot, and once you stop nibbling at the carrot, then they take back their money. They take back all the access, and or they find someone else that they want to entertain and give their access to, and then yours just dries up. So yeah, guys who lead with their money, that's a big red flag anyway, and it reeks of insecurity. But there are some guys who, before I get to know you, before we get a chance to vibe on the third or fourth day, yeah, you get in Starbucks. You might get a Groupon to a concert or something, because I don't want to. But a lot, I mean, think about it. If I took a woman out, if I dated, say, if I took 3 women out in a month, and we're going to dinner, and we might go shoot pool or go to a jazz cafe or something, that's $700-800 easy.
Is it?
I mean, $150-200 a date.
Oh, you take people on good dates. You got money.
No, because first of all,
I've been married a long time. I've been married twice though. The first time, that's why I say I know about the person who just will spend money and it seems like it's fun. That was my first husband. He spent everything. We went out all the time. But then when we got married, he was spending everything. It just, he was spending the bill money. So you have to, be aware of that.
You do have to be aware of it. And I was just kidding about the money, the you got money thing, but I will say, and I've had this back and forth with my boyfriend a couple of times, where I always say that sometimes men don't want to spend a lot of money on the first date. Totally understand. I mean, I don't think you should be spending $800 on a first date. But
we're trying to get to know women. Yeah,
trying to get to know the person. But I told him I feel that sometimes a man knows who to spend a lot of money on, so to speak. And then there might be that one person who's the nice girl who doesn't complain a lot. He's not going to spend a lot of money on her because he knows she's not going to complain. But then the woman that you say that, she just wants me for my money, or she's
the gold digger
or whatever, you're spending money on that one. But the nice girl who's not complaining is getting the crumbs because you're putting all of the money toward the one who's saying, this is what I want. And so sometimes I think it's not fair. Am I looking at this? Am I looking at this fairly though?
No, oftentimes women who demand the most get the most.
Mm-hmm.
But also when a man is fed up with that woman, he doesn't even look back, because he said, I did all this, I spent all this, I gave her what she wanted. I still couldn't get her to act like I wanted her to act. So there is no circling back to her. But a woman who wasn't all that demanding, if they fall out, he might say, you know what, I could have tried harder. There was a lot that I left on the table, and there might be a second chance for that one.
If she's available.
Well,
because she might.
Unfortunately, too many of them are still available. That's the sad part. But I'm with you on that one, because I tell guys now who I hang out with, if they met a woman and says, man, she does this, she's nice to me, she's kind, she's thoughtful, she's considerate, we vibe and we talk on the phone for hours, she can cook, we go work out together, and I'm saying, well, why aren't you taking her off the market? Well, I don't know if I'm ready for all that, and I'm trying to see these other women. And I tell those dudes every single time, when you get ready for her, she's gonna be smiling at somebody else and throwing rocks at you.
Mm-hmm. Somebody who's serious.
Mm-hmm.
So, a lot of times, especially past a certain age, I'll use 30, but it could be before 30 for a woman. There's not a lot of time to just be messing around with people who are not serious. Because you have a biological clock for one.
Right.
And so men don't have to be as aware of that, because, men have more opportunities later in life to have children. Women, we have a finite window, and, you don't want to be 45. I mean, people do it, but, so you have to start thinking about that. Do you want to waste time with somebody who's not serious? And I know some women who waited spent years and years and years on this dude, waiting for him. And then they break up, and then 6 months later, he's marrying somebody.
Okay. I spoke to a woman a month ago, 6 weeks ago. First of all, when the book first came out, she said, yeah, I heard about the book. You know, even though I've not been successful dating, I don't think the book's going to help me because it was written by a man, and I don't want some man telling me what to do. And there were two of her girlfriends there. They were like, well, you might want to listen to what the book's about. And I said, first of all, the book just asks you to consider moving differently. I'm not trying to change women, rebuild the women, the way women think. I'm just suggesting that these things are important to men. These things that women can do attract more men, and high valued or high quality men, or men who are ready to be in relationships. And the book talks about that going through. It's a choice, it's a decision, it's a mindset. So we're talking to this woman with her two girlfriends for maybe an hour. And she softened up a little, but she said, just tell me something. Why the last three guys I've dated seriously, all within 6 months were engaged or married to someone else. And I said, would you consider at all that the problem might be you? That the issue might be the way you handle them, and that they were looking for something that you didn't offer. I said, my thought process is, don't really know you, but you're probably a very good woman, has a lot of on the ball, but there was probably that one thing that they could not, there was a red flag that they could not overlook. And that one thing, no matter how great you were to them, pushed them away. And the next woman didn't have all the good stuff you had, but she didn't have that one thing. She didn't have that red flag. So they said, I'll take it. And that's exactly what they do. They take the next one. And she said, yeah, but a couple of them are trying to circle back to me now. They're married. But I was like, well, they realized that maybe they could put up with that one thing.
Or they want you to be a side chick, which to me is abominable. But
that's every time. Yeah.
Would you say it's the 80-20 rule?
I think that's what people call it. It's what's funny to me, because people will say, and I think there's a lot of truth in that, if she or he are giving you 80% of what you want, you need to deal with the 20% you're not getting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a 90-10 type dude because I'm exceptional. I make sure that I'm exceptional. I give. I'm thoughtful. I'm doing this. I'm doing more than any other guy's gonna do, and I know that going in. So if I can't get 90 from you, if I can't get Black Woman 2.0, if I can't get your best on a consistent basis, I don't want it. I don't want what you've been giving everybody else.
All right now.
Don't treat me like you treated those other dudes, because I'm gonna treat you better than those other dudes treated you.
And now,
you're probably an exception, Victor, not the rule.
Well,
and I plan on carrying that torch every day.
Okay, and that's great. That's good, and it's good to know yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's look at somebody like Michael B. Jordan, who felt like he was doing all of that for Lori Harvey, and people called him a simp, and then they called him a simp again when they broke up.
Yeah.
So I think there are a lot of guys who are afraid of being that exceptional guy who wants to give more and accept more because they don't want to be called a simp in social media. And I think social media has probably messed up a lot of relationships.
And Lori Harvey's messed up a lot of relationships. Because we don't know what went on. We don't know what the relationship was like. On the screen and in public persona, he's a wonderful dude. Everybody says great things about him. But in looking on the outside looking in, it just looked like she wanted to continue dating, I guess, to see if she could upgrade. But if that was the case, to me, there's not much of an upgrade for Michael B. Jordan. That's
not
it.
much. Not that's available. They have to be available.
And there you go. And that's what people are saying. I have this guy. People are calling him a simp. Is he making you happy? Yes, he is. Is he doting on you? Does he look after you? Does he care about you? Yes. So
but he doesn't have enough street in him.
Well, okay. Well, here's the deal. Dudes who have street in them, that's all they got.
Right.
Way too much street. So the other things that are required that they wish they had, they're not getting access to. So for the women, and I saw this on a video, the women who are wanting an exceptional man, 6 feet tall with abs and, 6-figure income, who can write poetry and lift weights and he can fight and plays an instrument and speaks a foreign language. It's not too many of those dudes. And if they are, either they're already booed up or they got 20 women on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I tell this I tell women, well, two things I tell women, because sometimes women will ask me, younger women, you know, if you got a list of 50 characteristics you're looking for, throw that list away.
Mm.
What you need to do is get the 3 non-negotiables, the 3 things you have to have. That you start there. You might add a few more things, but if you have that list of 50, you're gonna miss something that you really need to be paying attention to. You need the 3 non-negotiables. That's what you need, and whatever and they're different to different people. You know.
But Gwen, let me tell you how impactful and how wise what you just said is. When I got divorced after 20 years, I went to a counselor, a therapist friend of mine, and she says, "Do you have a list of things you want in your next mate?" Because I told her I'm getting married again. I'm not for these streets. Now I'm gonna find someone who's compatible with me that I can have fun with, and we're gonna have a good life together. And she said, "You have a list?" I said, "Yes, I do." She said, "Throw the list in the trash." And I said, "Why would I do that? Why would I do that?" She said, "Because usually when you're talking about all the stuff you want, there's enough people who will check most of those boxes. But just like you said, you need to have a deal breaker list. You need to have a red flag list.
Yeah.
If these 3 or 4 things are on that list, no matter what other 20, 25, 30 things, those 3 things, those 5 things are going to break us up and tear me down every time." So I'm glad you said it. It's in the book and it's worth it. When I tell women that, now I've been holding on to my list for 25 years. Okay, now you 50.
That's why you're still single. That's why your list, you got the long A list, and that's not what you need to do. The 3 thing, and you're right. Or you can have the 3 non-negotiables, which the 3 red flags is kind of similar.
It is.
But some things are a deal breaker. And a lot of times you don't know what the deal breaker is until you've been in a relationship with someone that had the deal breaker characteristics. And then like one for me, the deal breaker is a liar. If you're a liar, you're a liar. I can't trust you. I don't even want to have anything to do with you. Because if you lie to me once, you'll lie to me again. Just tell me the truth. I can deal with the truth. But if you lie to me, and that's in business, anything, I don't like liars because they can't be trusted.
So
You can't believe
ladies,
anything they say.
throw that wish list in the trash.
Yeah.
Throw it out.
Yeah, because I say you gotta have this, it's a fit like 30 things. You're never gonna find that. Unless you can create like a robot, you're not gonna find all of that in one.
And the robot won't be as fun.
No, they won't be. They won't have swag. The robot.
But now, Victor, I did ask you about how women feel about these books written by men. Now, there's also the men who hate these books that are written by men because they think you're giving away all the game.
Oh, no, I've gotten that every week, every other week since this book came out. I can't believe you telling our secrets. I can't believe you sharing yada yada. I can't believe you giving up too much information. And I just tell them, bro, first of all, if you can't make it past this book, your game ain't tight anyway. And then I also told them that brothers need to be more real and more authentic. If you weren't running game, you wouldn't be concerned about this book. This book is not to say what guys are doing wrong. This book is 603 some odd rules that women could finesse the edges of what they're already doing. I'm not asking women to change. I'm not asking you even to be better. I'm just asking women to think a little differently. Because there's rules. Go ahead.
Well, what would you say the difference between your book and I don't know if you read Steve Harvey's book when it came out, 10 years ago, whatever long ago it was. What would you say some of the differences are between what you're talking about and what he discussed in his book?
What think like a woman, act like a man, or act like a woman, think like a man?
Yeah. The movie was based on
that. Lady, think like a man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think there's a lot of what I believe was in the book. I think you should take your time and vet each other. I think there should be a period before sex is involved to really get to know each other and see if you vibe in ways other than sexually. I don't agree that women should think like a man or anything like that, because when you bring that, what I call toxic masculinity in, then he can't be vulnerable because he's afraid that you're going to use what he does and says against him. So I don't agree with that at all. I think the premise is funny. I think there's a lot of truth in it. But I think the big difference in this book gives women not only rules, but guidelines. If you want these relationship goals, these are some of the guidelines I think you should consider. And there's a number of them. And like I said, I always say I'm here to help. There are some rules in here on our chapters on how to pick up men. P.S. How to pick up men at a wedding, how to pick up men at a dinner party, how to pick up men at a concert. Because a lot of women are just not good and aren't built to go up and approach men they don't know. And so what I do is give them rules, guidelines, and tips on how to do it. You say, Gwen,
Yeah,
you said
that
you
was
want to
never
go?
me. My thing was always, if he doesn't approach me, we're not supposed to be together. Because I'm
Okay.
not gonna be approaching a man that's never,
Mhm.
never, don't even know how to do it, don't want to know.
See,
But I know times are different now. But I still say, and I told my daughter this, the man for you will be unambiguous about him wanting you. It's not gonna be confusion.
What if he's
well,
afraid? What if he's
yeah,
afraid?
and that's what I was gonna say. Back in my club going days, I used to hate if I looked up and I kept seeing the same guy looking at me, but he wouldn't come over and talk to me. That would irritate me. I'm like, you're looking at me all night. Can you at least come over and say hi? Something.
He might be shy.
It's still happening. It's still happening today. I see it every time I go to a lounge, cigar bar, whatever. I still see the same thing happening. So if women are saying or thinking the same way, if he doesn't approach me, it's not meant to be. Yeah, well, maybe he's just not that confident in meeting women who are attractive. Maybe he's not that confident in women who just take his breath away. So, Rhonda, I'm saying this not just for you, but for everybody else, Dr. Lawson, who's listening. If a guy's checking you out all night and he doesn't say anything, that's unfortunate. But what I suggest is smile at him, tell him, come here, and see what happens. He's going to come, first of all. If he's been checking you out all night, you say, come here. He's gonna come with a smile, and you say, I really like your shirt, your hat, your shoes, whatever. Is this a place you come often? You don't even have to say you're gonna check me out all night and speak up Negro or what.
I'm at the point now, like I've been in my relationship going on 3 years. And when I met him, I spoke to him first, but all I did was just sprinkle it, and I left it alone. It was up to him to make the move after that. If he was interested, he was going to show me. I opened the door, but it was up to him to walk through it.
Okay, beautiful. And I'm glad you said it. Now it's 3 years later. Had you not spoke to him, you probably wouldn't even know who dude is. So my point is, and it's written, I think it's chapter 3, because what you did was you picked him up. He just didn't know he was picked up. You initiated the introduction. And that's all I'm suggesting that women do. Smile, say hello. Say hello. Well, no, he didn't speak to me, so I didn't speak to him. Okay, so 20 years later, 30 years later, you still gonna do the same thing and expect a different outcome? They call that insanity. So, but I'm 57, and I know there are women who in my generation who just don't do that. What I'm saying is nowadays, if you want to have some successful dating relationships, relationship goals, change the way you move a little bit. That's all. Just finesse the corners. You would be shocked at women who keep men in rotation and keep men in their face. They smile at men. They wave. How you doing?
Yeah, well, I smile, and I always smile, and I smile now, not trying to pick anybody up, but I'm just a happy person. So I'm a happy person. Yeah. So I smile at everybody, but I don't. That's not me. I know the rules have changed. I mean, well, the environment has changed. Let me say that. And men have changed.
Men have changed. A lot of men, I talked to some yesterday, don't feel like they have to approach women because there's so many available women. So they'll look, and if they cross paths with someone, or someone introduces them, or if they happen to meet, walking in the outdoor at the same time, they might say, hey, hello, where are you going? I'm just getting here, and say something clever. All you have to do, women who want to meet more men, is find the guys that you want to meet and speak to them. And not be in your phone while you out all the time. Because to men, that says she's unapproachable, she's disinterested, and I'm going to get my face cracked if I walk over there. So don't be on the phone the whole time. Don't be cackling with your girls the whole time and leave at the end of the night and say, not one man spoke to me all night long. I got my hair done, my nails done. I bought this new outfit and not one guy spoke to me all night, because you're talking to your girls and you're creating a circle around the table saying men not allowed. We're having a good time. We're not interested. Find somebody that you're attracted to, smile at them, say hello. And if that doesn't work, tell them, come here.
Well,
and you
this is not my world as far as like the dating, but human nature being what it is, there's still some rules of human nature. And, for ladies, also for those who want to get married and they're in a relationship with the guy, the scenario that I described before. It's been my experience and observation that men don't take forever to know if they want to be with you in a committed relationship.
Some men.
The one that can't make up their mind, those are not, that's not what I'm talking about. But generally, if I've been married twice, both times my husbands made their intentions known early. In fact, Willie, who you've met, I've been married 31 years. He said we were supposed to be married on the first date, and I thought he was nuts. So, and the other one, it was a month, 2 months at the most, a month or two. It wasn't. So it doesn't take 5 years if the dude.
No, you clearly you have that effect on me. First of all, clearly you have that effect. But for women who don't have that effect on men, but you did say you smile a lot. A woman who smiles says, I'm open, I'm prepared to engage, I'm prepared to be entertained, and that it says a lot. So women who smile a lot are always gonna have guys in their face. Some women are like, well, I just don't feel comfortable being out, just feeling like that open. What men see is usually what y'all project. If you're not confident or you really don't want to be bothered, but you still got dressed up and got your hair and nails done and you still went out, what we see is she doesn't want to be bothered, so I'm not going to bother her. Or she looks high maintenance. I've heard that a lot. And sometimes you look high maintenance because you're so well put together and you don't give any men eye contact. If you give men eye contact and you're well put together, they're not going to say she's high maintenance. They're going to say she's a real deal. Let me see if I can go over here and introduce myself. And I see it all the time. So for women who have been in a relationship longer than they want to be, and he had popped the question, there's a chapter on how to nudge your man towards, ring shopping. There's a whole chapter in it. There's a chapter about when to cut bait if your relationship goals are not being met, if he's dragging his feet. There's a chapter about breaking up ain't always easy. It's because sometimes you have to debate, is this a time for me to get out of the relationship? Is it time for me to break this off, give him some space and see if he circles back or see if I'll move on? So, and then there's two chapters on maintaining the magic in marriage, how to continue dating your spouse. Some of the things that you've forgotten because you take for granted, not that it's wrong, just is. Some things we just
order this book, Victor, because you playing. But I need my book signed, Victor. So can I order from your website and get it signed?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And I'll be more than happy to ship it out this week. So I'm telling you, the funny thing is, for almost everything I could think of, and I asked my fiance, I said, these are the topics I want to put in this book that I'm writing. And she said, ooh, but what about, dating your guys who've been in your circle? And I said, well, this is my thought process. If a guy has dated someone in your girl circle, in your sister circle, you got to think about how long ago was it? Was it serious? Did they actually sleep together? Do they still care for each other? Whatever that is, all of those things go into it. But what should not go into it is he tried to talk to me 5 years ago. So he's off limits to you. He cannot be off limits to your girlfriend just because he tried to holler at you and you passed. When you pass, you've lost. this girl code y'all got is y'all killing each other. So if I tried to talk to, hold on, mother,
we're gonna have to be continued now.
Right.
We're gonna have to do it to be continued.
Okay.
Well, not necessarily, because we're waiting on our next guest.
Oh, well, let's go. Let's
go. Okay. Yeah. So my thing is, instead of saying he asked me out, or we talked on the phone 3-5 years ago, and so therefore he's off limits to you, he's disqualified from dating any woman I know. That's not fair. It's not fair, because he might be somebody else's soulmate, and you could say, oh, he's a good guy, we just didn't click. But most women won't do that. I don't know why you want to be protective of something you never had. That's not fair. So what I suggest women do is, for all the guys that you haven't had sex with, you haven't had feelings for, y'all might have gone out once or twice and it didn't work, make a list and share that with your girlfriends. This is a good guy. He's cool. We just didn't click. And open up that territory to your girlfriends. You might have 5, 10, 15 guys on your list who might be perfect for your girl circle. That's all I'm suggesting women do. Instead of trying to hog tie guys that y'all, nothing ever happened, but he's off limits. That's not cool.
Yeah, that sounds like, I don't know if you've seen When Harry Met Sally, where she had the index card file of people that were potential. This is before, the net and smartphones and all that. But it was kind of like that. She was saying, okay, I have the perfect guy for you. And she had the index card file. And then she said, oh, he's already married. So then she turned the corner down on the card. She didn't throw the card out. She just put the corner down. So I guess he might still be available somewhere.
Yeah,
now you did kind of just drop that in there, kind of in a sly way, Victor, that you're engaged, and you just kind of slipped that in. And I that was, so you did meet someone after you got divorced. See, I didn't know you had been divorced. I didn't know all this had happened.
Yeah, I got divorced.
You met her a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, I got divorced 4 years ago. Met her a few years. Got divorced 4 years ago. Met Yvette, who I'm engaged to now. And we hit it off. But we went to Starbucks. We went to work out together. We went for walks. And for a lot of women, they would have said, "Nah, you cheat." No, this is my betting process. I need to see if we can really click before I start dropping $150, $200 per day. And
to me, that makes sense.
Rhonda's known me.
I think it's about being creative, though. I mean,
yes.
I don't have a problem if you're taking me on a date that's not going to cost a lot of money, but it shouldn't be obvious that you're trying to be cheap. I mean, let's go to a museum. Don't take me to Burger King on the first day. You don't want to spend a lot of money. There are museums we can go on. We can go on a picnic. There are things that we can do that don't cost a lot of money, that you put some thought into it.
Yeah,
right.
We could go shoot. You could go shoot pool. You could go to putt golf, and you can really have a good time without spending a lot of money. But there were some women who said, "Oh, you want to meet at Starbucks? I'm not doing Starbucks." I said, "Okay." And then months later, they see me on trips on the beach with a wife. Okay, so how you go from not calling me back to being on the beach with this woman? She went to Starbucks. She went to Starbucks, and we yeah.
So when I saw you, you were still married. I mean,
it was.
It's been 5 years or 6 years ago.
Yeah. As soon as I got divorced, I started praying for another one.
Amen.
Well, that's good, because a lot of people, when they go through divorce, they say marriage is not for me or whatever, and when I went through my divorce, I just made a mistake. This is where I was married 4 years. I said if it was an epic fail from day one.
Mm.
The wedding was beautiful. The marriage was a disaster from day one. And it was a nightmare. So I said, okay, let me get out of this while I'm still young enough to find another husband. Some women make the mistake. They see the marriage is not going right. They get pregnant. They think that having a baby will fix it. No. Because if it's not working with the two of you by yourselves, it definitely is not going to improve bringing
Yeah.
another person into it. And it's not fair to the child or to either of you. So I said, let me cut my losses and let
Mhm.
me move on while I, still young enough to, but I knew what my 3 non-negotiables were after going through that. I knew what I had to have. And
Mhm.
so,
And you
You
I
know
have
what's
still
re-
thought it was going to be a while.
well, you have to weigh those options because maybe your non-negotiables don't have anything to do with finances, or maybe your non-negotiables don't have anything to do with love. Whatever it is,
Yeah.
just make sure it's something that you can live with.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
want to be
that's
a.
true.
I mean, there are a list of things. Mine were consideration, thoughtfulness, nurturing, and I forgot what the other one was. But I mean, it was simple stuff that I just overlooked because I took for granted that every Black woman had.
Yes. Yeah, you can take a lot for granted in
Mhm.
people. You can assume things that people don't have,
Yeah,
that they don't possess, characteristics they don't possess. You can assume that they do. And then that's why you have to have mine were, he has to love God. Because if you love God, there's some things you're not going to do. I don't have to be with you for you to do the right thing. 2, he has to love me and want to take care of me. That's because if he doesn't love you, he's going to be mean to you. That's really what happens.
And you're not
And
gonna
3,
be
he has to be responsible with money. Because my first one was the most irresponsible person I ever met.
yeah.
both of y'all talking about your exes like you. I haven't mentioned my ex one time.
Well, I want people to know that you can have a bad marriage and still find love later and
That's
just
right.
learn from it.
No,
Yeah.
that's true. I can't talk about my ex because his daughter's downstairs. So
Oh, well, you see, I didn't have any kids.
Yeah.
I
You
said,
know,
let me cut
but
these ties completely. And
but Gwen, to your point, there are so many people that said you were married for over 20 years. Why are you getting married again? I said I deserve to have a healthy, fruitful relationship. In my last marriage, we saw 5 different marriage counselors and trying to make it work, trying to make it fit, trying to massage it into, the square that we thought it should be in. And
mm,
it just never got to be what I needed to be or what she needed to be. So, I called the attorney after going through the last marriage counselor and said, I'm convinced that after, going through all this and praying on it, that it's never going to be what I want. I deserve to be happy. She deserves to be happy. And we're not going to be happy together. So I told people I'm gonna find somebody else. This it's not like it's so guys are like, so you got a list? No, I don't have a list. I don't have a list of women who like on
like
date.
a little black book.
Oh, I know a lot of guys who are in marriages now that say if I get divorced, I got 20 of them on Facebook that I'm gonna holler at. So
ooh,
I said, no, I don't have that.
mm. Okay. Now I do want to ask you because you mentioned that there's a part in your book or a chapter in your book. So
Uh-huh.
funny where you talk about breaking up. And sometimes a breakup happens not because somebody was mean or because somebody cheated. In your case, you said that you two just realized that you didn't need to be together anymore.
Right. We couldn't pull it together. No matter what we tried, no matter what advice, it just never it was not gonna be a good match. When people don't see eye to eye, when they are not aligned on important things,
Right.
no matter what you do, I mean, you could try a couple of weeks, month, and then you resort back to default mode. And if your default is that's not important to me, and mine is it's very important to me,
Mhm.
it's always gonna break. And it just kept
How
breaking.
do you do that if nobody's necessarily done anything wrong? Because I mean, I've been guilty in the past of staying in a relationship not because the person did something wrong. I'm like, well, how do I just spring it on them that I want to break up? He didn't do anything wrong. What do I tell them? I mean, and somebody's probably done the same thing to me. She may not have done anything wrong, but we don't need to be together. So how do you make that decision and not hold on until things just go bad?
Well, sometimes it's not enough. sometimes the love is not enough, the respect's not enough, the way y'all kiss and hug and touch is just not enough. So no one has to do anything wrong. It's just sometimes not enough to stay.
Right, right.
Well, I kudos to you for going to buy marriage counseling, because you know a lot of men
Yeah, you
won't
really tried.
do that. I hear. You know,
I told you I
never.
was exceptional.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what it. I'm gonna
Okay.
do what it takes until it breaks. That's. I'm gonna do what it takes till it breaks. That's who I am.
Well, the kudos, because you know that shows commitment and you know integrity and things that are really good things that some people take for granted, or some women even see those things as weaknesses sometimes. You
Ooh,
know, the guy was too nice. I hear that
I've
from.
heard men say that about women too, though, that she was too
Oh,
nice, and you know, I could break up with her, she's gonna take me back, and you know,
oh
you know,
no, that's not nice. That's something else.
yeah. There's a lot of broken. There's a lot of brokenness out there, and I'll say it.
Yeah.
You said it earlier, Rhonda, that you know if you're a good guy and you do this to please your woman, look out for her, and this and that, they call you a simp. That's the unfortunate part, because there's so many men and women that think, okay, he's going overboard for his woman. If you can't go overboard for your woman, who should you go overboard for? So
amen.
you could say, yeah, so you could call me simp all day long, but I know one thing is my woman ain't going nowhere. I know that much. And yours is always looking over your shoulder at the next dude. You know, some of them trying to holler at me, so I know it's the truth. Yeah. So and then Russell Wilson, people calling him a simp because he loves
Yeah.
his wife and
No,
he loves
I
her
mean I
out
think it's
loud.
great. I think
I'm
it's
like,
great.
and there were some women calling him that. I'm like, okay, so y'all
Yeah.
used to these dogs, y'all used to thugs, y'all used to broken and bitter dudes. So you would never get a guy like Russell Wilson or Michael B. Jordan anyway. Because as soon as they got to know you, they'd be like, you got too much going on, you got too much baggage. And I'm not going to carry somebody else's baggage. Yeah. So yeah, if you call, one woman told me, she said, I think you're too nice for me. I said, I would agree.
Wow.
Yeah. If you think
Wow.
that, I'm gonna co-sign. Yes. Because you're not gonna respect who I am, and I'm not for everybody. You
And
know,
that makes
because I am a very thoughtful, kind, giving person. You know, and that's not for everybody.
some people don't know how to take it when somebody's really good to them.
Mm-hmm.
And they do something nice for you, and you're like, why he being nice to me? What's he up to?
Take the win. Take the win.
I agree.
Take the win.
I agree with that. When I was dating Willie, I needed a car. I never said I needed a car, but he knew I needed a car.
Mm-hmm.
And Willie had two cars. He let me drive one of his cars, and he bought me a car. We were dating. We were not married. You know, so and I didn't ask, but you know, that's the kind of gesture that really, you know, gives somebody points for a long time.
Well, he saw a need and you filled it. But Gwen, you said something earlier, and then I think it was about the point that you just made. It doesn't take a guy 5, 10, 7 years or whatever to know if you're the one for him. It doesn't. If he's looking, when a man decides, and I've been saying this for 25, 20, 30 years, when a man is ready to settle down, if he's looking for a mate, can't nobody stop him, not even his mama. But if he's not ready, can't nobody make him, not even his mama.
Right.
That's it.
That's
So
good advice. I hope you have a chapter with that title, because that
I
is
do.
true.
I do. I absolutely do. But yeah, because women are like, I've been with this dude so long and he's not
That's
talking
your
about marriage.
problem. That's what I said. That's your problem. You're wasting your time. If you want to get married and he's not even talking about it, you can't drag somebody to the altar. You just can't. I mean, and if you do somewhat successfully think you are successful, he's not going to be committed to you because he doesn't want to do that. You
Not
don't
with
want
you.
to be
Not
with
with you.
somebody that doesn't want to be with you in a committed relationship. You don't want it. You think you want him. If he doesn't want you, you need to move on. There's other people out there. I don't care. I know I hear about all this there's no people, and
Yeah,
I always believe that if you have a positive attitude, there's somebody out there for you.
a
Because
lot of
people are
somebody.
looking for positive.
Yes.
There's so much negative.
Sometimes you also have to change your environment. That's something that I had to learn. When you're running into the same people, or you
Yes.
feel like you're having the same results, maybe it's not because you're choosing wrong, but maybe you're just choosing from the same pond. You might have to go fishing in a different pond. So maybe you have to look at yourself, see what changes need to be made in yourself, and then change your environment. If you're used to going, yes, it's in the book.
It's in the book.
If you used to going to the juke joint to meet guys, maybe you go to someplace that's a little bit more upscale if you want to meet a different guy. Don't keep going to the juke joint and expecting that great guy to just happen to walk in one day and notice you across the room. That's movies.
Yeah. That's not very likely to happen. I mean, it's the dating games, and with an S, are so different than they were 20, 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I found out when I got divorced that there were women that have now more game and gamesmanship than guys. I mean, it's like I'm trying to get to know you, and I'm telling you that we've gone out 4 or 5 times. Let's see what this is like. Especially if you get into the part where you're going to become intimate. So, if we're going to be intimate, is this going to be exclusive, or do I just put you in a box with, everybody else? Because I need to know that, because I'm not going to think, we're exclusive and we're really not. You're a community chick that you meet somebody, or your ex is circling back around whenever he gets ready. You still feel you have feelings for him, so he can sleep with you whenever he gets ready. I need to know that, because I need to treat you accordingly. And one
Right.
woman said, well, I do have this guy that, he's kind of my go-to. And, we have an understanding that unless we're really serious with somebody, that we connect every now and then. I said, okay, well, then I'm gonna let you have that, because I'm not trying to be with a woman who has a guy who comes through and her maintenance man or what have you, until she falls in love with somebody. Because who's to say that stops?
Right.
You can say it stops, but who's to say it stops? So, and she said, so what are you saying? I said, we're not going to be intimate. We're not getting down like that if you're not willing to basically clear your roster. These guys who still have full access to you, you need to cut that off, or we need to stop. Or I could put you in a box with everybody else. And she was like, no, but I mean, I'm special. I want you to treat me like I'm special. Yeah, but you're not demanding the same. You're not allowing the same for me. So that's not going to happen. You know what? I can't even remember her name. I can't remember. I can't. That's how insignificant that turned out. I can't even remember her name.
Now,
Yes.
how do you feel about? This is what my daughter tells me. Now she has a boyfriend now, but she said so many, and my daughter's 27, so she's really in the thick of, the age where it's a lot of dating and meeting people. And she said so many men just lead with sex. They don't even really want to even get to know you. They just lead with sex.
Yeah, unfortunately, not only young men are doing this. Guys in their 50s and 60s are doing the same thing. And the only reason they're doing it is because there's so many women who are saying,
So
okay,
willing to do that.
willing participants, and I call it panties on the floor. They're willing to throw their panties on the floor without really getting to know a guy. And, and of course, I believe in body count. I believe in soul ties. So after you've done that so often, your name starts to get around, and guys are like, oh yeah, she's easy. All you gotta do is take her out a couple of times, tell her she's pretty, and you in. And so guys still talk. They're gonna tell you your business. So if women thinking sex ain't no big deal, and but at the same time, I want a guy to treat me special. I want him to be kind and sweet to me. I want him to treat me differently than anyone else. But then stop sleeping around. You're not gonna get it both ways. It just doesn't happen. No, what to say? No one wants to hoe for a housewife. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but there are women who say that it's not fair for people to say that when guys can have a roster, and they feel that women should be able to have a roster as well. But unfortunately, the rules are different. People see them differently.
And it is unfortunate, but I don't think guys should be having a number of women they sleep with either, unless they're telling this woman, hey, I got a couple of people I'm dealing with. I'm safe, I'm using protection, but there's a couple of women I'm dealing with. If a woman said that to me, I wouldn't have a problem with it, unless or until we got serious. And I'm like, you know what? You it for me. I want to see where this goes one-on-one. I want to block everybody else. I want to see where this goes. And if she says no, then I have my answer. Or if she says yes, but I can't catch up with her after 9 o'clock on Friday, or Wednesday afternoon. Yeah, it's like, okay, you off the grid. You're off the grid a lot. You're going black. You're going dark a lot. So what's up? Where are you really going? I was with my girlfriend, so you can't answer the phone, so you can't return a text. Okay, well, I'm gonna let you and your girlfriend and whatever whoever else you doing stuff with, I'm gonna let y'all have that. Because it goes back to what you said, Gwen. I can't trust you. I'm just with my friends. Okay, 6 hours and you don't return a text. No,
Right.
we can treat each other like that, but we can't be exclusive and treat each other like that. Because men who want a good relationship we have standards. And likewise, I can't be turning my phone off. I can't go off the grid. I can't be missing.
Yeah, I give young women that advice too. It used to be this is before cell phones. I think pages were, but the rule was for me, and I learned this the hard way. If he doesn't give you all his numbers, now I don't know. You got social media in the mix too, but if he doesn't give you all his numbers, that means he doesn't want you to be able to reach him.
That's right.
That's just and if you don't hear from him like days on at a time, like for days, then he's in a relationship with somebody else.
Yeah,
he's just not into you. He's just not into you. One of those.
Yeah, he's got to check in. And I'll say this: my fiance, she put me up on something that I didn't get initially because I've been married so long and usually around only other married people. So this whole, these gamesmanship and the plan and all that stuff, I didn't know anything about all that. So when we would go out and I'd see couples kind of on a date, but she's into her phone or he's doing something, or he goes to get a drink at the bar and he's gone 20 minutes and he's flirting with other women at the bar, whatever. She would pick up on things because she's never been married. So she's been single her whole life. And she said she has a PhD in this kind of thing. and it is true because she has earned it. She'll say he doesn't like her. And I say, what do you mean? They're dating. They've been together for a long. He doesn't like her. Or she doesn't like him because of how she treats him. Mm-hmm. She doesn't like him because I can see how she moves around him. And he doesn't like her enough is what she was saying. And when she says it, 95, 98% of the time, she's right. He doesn't like her as he pretends. He doesn't like her as he should show and display. Which what you said earlier, he's just not that into you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he likes you enough to.
It happens. Not every relationship is going to culminate in marriage or something long term. Just sometimes you meet people. That's why you need to get to know people first, because y'all might hook up, but you don't have anything in common. And you might waste 6 months on this dude. Y'all don't have anything in common. You just kind of felt obligated because y'all slept together before you should have. And so these things happen. So, Victor, we've had you for a whole hour and it's been amazing.
Oh my goodness. Already?
You need to show your book again.
Find your book.
So this has been really entertaining and educational.
Yes, I really appreciate you for having me on and for bringing Dr. Lawson with you. She's one of my favorites.
Always with me.
Everybody needs to know that. So eventually we're going to get together and we're going to do something and it's going to be big.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Yep. I received that. And take care. Oh, do you have a date? Have you set a date yet?
For marriage?
Uh-huh.
Absolutely. The 28th of this month.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. So we're going to Jamaica and 100 of our closest friends.
Oh, that's okay. Nice. You have a destination wedding. Okay,
yeah. Well, yeah, wonderful. It is. It's taxing. She's doing a lot of work. I'm watching. Because that's what grooms do. Grooms do. We watch people do all the work.
Right.
Yeah. It's really.
But no, I'm doing my part.
Congratulations. I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for sharing all of your experience and knowledge. I hope people who are listening get something out of it. And we're going to post the interview after the fact. So with some, hashtags so people can watch it and learn and be happy. Smile more. That's what they smile. It works.
Yes.
Okay. Well, thanks, Victor. Have a great evening.
All right. Thank you all. Take care.
I think I put your website in the chat. So everybody go ahead and click on that link and buy this book. And I'm getting my book this week, so I need my signed book so I can read up because I got them now. I need to keep them. So I'm taking your advice, all right?
There's a chapter in here for you.
Okay.
All right,
Okay,
y'all
Victor.
take care.
Okay, congratulations again.
Thank you.
That was fun.
That was fun.
And I'm glad we had the hour. I don't know what happened to our third guest, but these things happen. And when it's live, anything can happen. And I'm glad Victor was willing to stay on.
Well, I'm just glad that we had an interesting guest.
Yes.
What if the guest was boring and it was a boring guest for an hour?
And we're not referring to anyone in particular.
No, of course not. My guests have been good. I mean, not.
So, but some people are easier to talk about what they're writing about. Some people you have to pull it out of. And so, this is just the nature of interviewing people. So anyway, we have our final guest on, and Mary Monroe is no stranger to Black Authors Matter TV. I think she's been on about once a year whenever her new book comes out. And she has a new book out. And this book is number 4 in her series called Lexington, Alabama. And the other 3 books, she was on for all 3 of the other books, I'm pretty sure. I read all the other ones, and so I do plan to read this one. It's called Double Lives. And Mary, if you can pull your camera down so we can see your whole face, because we can only see like this part up.
Her audio is still connecting too.
Oh, well, does that mean she couldn't hear me?
Her audio didn't connect. I don't know if she can hear you or not.
Okay. All right. It's still connecting to audio.
There
now
it
it
is.
says a check mark. And
Mary,
we need to unmute.
Oh, she has to unmute. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, unmute your. There we go.
Okay. Mary, can you bring your camera down some so we can see your whole face? There you go. There you go. Okay.
Now, before we get started, I just finished reading Mrs. Wiggins.
Okay.
You did that.
Mrs. Wiggins was off the chain.
It's my girl. I had so much fun writing that book. Oh,
I can tell. I mean, so many different layers. I wasn't ready for the end. I mean, you did it.
Yeah. Well, all writing for me is fun, even though to some people it might be hard work. But I'm just having a ball, especially with this new book. Okay.
Yeah, I read that book on the road trip we took in 2021, and then I gave it to my sister because my sister was on the road trip. It was me and my husband and my sister and my brother-in-law, her husband. And so I read it, and then I read it on the road trip and gave it to her like in the middle of the road trip because I finished it so fast. And she loved it too.
Oh, so, good.
Yeah,
I listen to it on audio. I don't really always have time to sit down and just read a physical book. So I listen to a lot of audio books, like while I'm working and driving and exercising. There were times where I was listening to the book and did not want to get out the car.
Yeah, I was like that. I've been like that with a few books too.
Yes, that was fun.
Exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I didn't know you were going to do a book 4. I thought those
well,
3 was the end.
No, it was with those characters. But see, this new book is set in the same town, the same time period. It's like a spinoff, but it's
okay.
It's a standalone story with all new characters, and it's not like a continuation. It is this book.
Okay. So 1, 2, and 3 were continuation.
Yeah, they were continued. So Mrs. Wiggins, Empty Vows, and Love Under Betrayal. Same with the same characters. Some of the same characters, yes.
Right. So Mrs. Wiggins was number 1. Number 2 was Empty Vows. And number 3 was Love, Honor, Betray.
Right.
And this one is Double Lives.
Okay. And these characters live in the same neighborhood, same vicinity as the Wiggins characters.
Okay.
So that's why it's called the Lexington, Alabama series. It's because they're all in the same little gossip.
Now, is Lexington a real town or a made-up town?
I usually make up fictional towns unless I'm doing something that's set in Berkeley or wherever. And so I just randomly picked the name out like that. And then I found out
there is a Lexington, Alabama.
I got an email from this white woman, right? And she says, "Oh, we can't believe you." And I said, "Oh my God," because usually I will check to make sure that there's no city by that name. But this time it just I didn't think about it. But but so there is a Lexington, Alabama, and getting a lot of email.
Have you?
Positive, yes.
You probably put that town on the map.
Probably.
I don't know, but I do want to let you know that Double Lives made number 1 on Amazon, and this is the first time one of my books out of 30-something books went straight to number 1.
Oh, well, congratulations on that.
Yeah, the James Patterson and Dolly Parton. Okay, they're number 4. They're number 4, and I'm number 1.
Number 1. That's wonderful.
And in audio, because it's the audio I'm talking about, not the book. The book's doing good too, but the audio is just going through the roof.
Now, what? I think all of your books, I don't know if I've read them all. I've read a lot of them. But you focus on small town America and small town Southern. I think the ones that I've read.
Yeah. Well, that's my background. And this, I hate to say it, but it's so easy for me to write, with those kind of settings, because when I do books set in the present day, there's so many things you have to mention, all this technology and different things you have to bring people into the story. And so they'll know that it's a present day. But if you go back to simple life, it's so easy. You don't have to mention cell phones. You don't have to mention television. There's so many things you don't have to address. And I like that. I like that. And I like to read books like that, because sometimes I read books set in the present day and I get so confused. They're mentioning things I'm not even aware of. So
sometimes I don't like to read books that take place in my hometown, because when I read those books and I can tell the author is not actually from New Orleans, it kind of makes me mad when they kind of go toward the stereotype and not the true character of the city.
Like they don't know what you're talking about, right?
Like, for instance, when they have they say something like, I went over to Cafe Du Monde for breakfast. Nobody goes to Cafe Du Monde for breakfast.
See there?
There for coffee and beignets, and we're not going all the way to French Quarter.
No bacon and eggs and grits, okay? That's the problem. That's why I make up towns. So I mention places that don't exist. But with Lexington, I said, "Oh my God, I should have checked first." But and I now that I'm stuck with Lexington, Alabama, and I got to finish out because I got the new book coming out in 25, and then they're already talking about another contract for 3 more books. And so I said, "Oh my God."
Well, but that's good. So will this next book in 2025 be a continuation in the series?
No, it's part of the Lexington, Alabama series, but it's with different characters. It's just in the same neighborhood. It's still
set in Lexington, Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, sometimes, because I'm a writer too, in my 2 novels, I'll do a mixture of. Well, I do contemporary when I do novels. I try to do the now.
Yeah.
But I try to do a mixture of real places and fake places.
Fictional places. Yeah. Well, that works.
You could be a restaurant, or a small town, somebody's neighborhood or whatever. Yeah. I try to do a mixture of them. So some of it's authentic as far as
Yeah.
people will know the place, but then there's other parts where it's made up, so it's fictional.
You got to be so careful. There's just so many little
You
loose
do.
things. 'Cause I had something in one of my Christmas books, and I mentioned a place in Berkeley. I know Berkeley. I know I live in the Bay Area, so I thought I knew it really well. And somebody pointed out, well, my editor pointed out to me because Alcatraz, this person had an accident on Alcatraz. Well, Alcatraz is not called Alcatraz Street. It's Alcatraz Avenue or something like that. But it was a small thing that somebody who didn't live in Berkeley wouldn't know. But my editor pointed out, and she said we need to be as accurate as possible. So it's little things like that that just, I don't know, just give me the creeps.
Yeah, there are little things. I know Rashonda Tate, 'cause I've known her a long time. She told us publicly years ago, one of her books, it was a church in the book, and the book was set in Houston. That's where we live. And she made this church called Lily Grove Baptist, and not realizing that it was an actual church.
No.
And then she made up the pastor's name and called him Terrence. Well, the actual pastor's name was Terry. So some of the church members of the church showed up at one of her book signings. She said, some of the women, they were upset because of the depiction, because he wasn't a good guy in the book.
Oh my God.
And
He
it
was a good guy in real life.
so she said after that, she really went all out to research to make sure she wasn't.
Well, I just finished the one about Hattie McDaniel, and that was, I loved that.
I'm reading that right now. I'm reading
but
that.
she does explain in the back of the book that certain things that she fictionalized, like Clark Gable didn't go to the Academy Awards that night. She had other things. So she clarified all that. And I'm glad she did that, because I know somebody was going to say, oh, he didn't even go to the Academy Awards that night or whatever. But she did. She said, I'm doing creative license or whatever. And some things are fictionalized to keep the flow of the story going. So I'm glad she did that, because I didn't want nobody jumping on her saying, oh, he wasn't even there. You know.
Yeah. Well, she did I'm about a third of the way through. And she's a good writer. You know, when a person's a good writer, they're a good writer. So this is her first time doing historical fiction.
And she did a great job.
She did, yeah. It's a really great book. So
I loved it.
I'm looking forward to finishing it, and I have so many books on my to be read shelf.
Me too.
I don't even, I have so many. It's like, okay, which one do I do next?
Which one next?
Which one am I gonna pick up?
My Kindle is filling up. I mean, because I had let my my Audible credits kind of build up. So one day I just went and just downloaded a bunch of books. And I have all these books.
No, you didn't.
or to be listened to. And then I have books on my shelf that I have to read. So
me too. Me too.
Here probably or long.
And then almost every week on the show, there'll be a guest on the show whose book I get. Either I've already gotten it or I get it at the show. So and then it's like I can never catch up. But
oh my God, I know.
It's a good problem to have. I'm so ecstatic that there's so many good books being written by Black authors. As compared to years ago when it would just be a handful.
Same authors.
Now they're hundreds now.
Oh, all over the place. New ones every day.
Yes. And it's really, I hope it continues. I hope it's not just.
It's going to be even more. You know,
Yes.
some people coming up or writing. And so, there was a time when literally there was 5 or 6 Black authors. And I'm way back when I was in high school, there was no Black writers. And I came to Richard Wright and James Baldwin, the ones like that. But later and now you go in there, we're all over the place.
Yes. And it's just great. And all different kinds of, lots of fiction and lots of historical fiction, but then
nonfiction.
And nonfiction. Yeah, lots of memoirs.
Yep.
And all kinds of nonfiction topics, lots of history.
Right. And it's for everybody. That's what I like. Because I have younger friends who will only read street lit, I don't know if they still call it that. And then I have some who only read romance, and some who read my stuff, So there's something for everybody. So I like one.
So tell us about the storyline in Double Lives.
Okay, these are two identical twin sisters. And when I say identical, I mean we all probably known some identical twins in our lifetime, but these two girls, nobody, even mama, can't tell them apart. And they take advantage of that because they switch identities when it suits. Okay, this one didn't want to go to school to take a test. Her sister goes in place. This one has a boyfriend who wants to have sex, but she doesn't want to do it. But the sister said, well, I'll do it. She goes with the boyfriend. And then one gets arrested and goes, don't want to go to jail. The tough sister says, well, I'll go in your place. You know, it says they're doing things that, I don't want to say harmless, but little things at first. But then I don't want to give the ending of the story away.
Right. Don't do the spoilers.
They eventually do something that's so elaborate, it's not going to be good. And it's just a warning to people who, you can only deceive people for so long up to a certain point, but there's certain things you shouldn't do. And that's the point I'm trying to get across. Okay, these girls should have stopped at this point here, and this tragedy or whatever wouldn't have happened. And because I knew I knew two sets of twins back home when I lived in Ohio. Mama couldn't tell them apart. There was no like moles or anything. I mean, literally. And they were always doing kind of devilment, you know? And then as they got older,
that's an evil twin, like this it's a stereotype of an evil twin, but you're saying they were both pretty bad.
Yeah, but you know, well, in this story, the reader has to remember that the good one, or the one that they think is good, that the mom and everybody think is good, who's acting right like Miss Goody Two, she's really the bad one. But when she does bad stuff, she poses as her sister. So everybody thinks the bad girl or the wild one is the really bad girl. But you'll see, you know, it will throw you.
This will make how many books for you? You said 30 something?
I think this is 34, 35.
Wow.
It's over 30. I gotta count again. But you know what's so wonderful to me is that so many people, family, friends, told me, you'll never get published, you know. And now I don't say a word. I just do a new book every year. And when they talk to me, somebody said to me one day, recently, you still writing books? Oh yes, I do a new one every year. And oh, well, you can send me one. And I said, well, okay, what did you think about that last one I sent you?
Right.
10 years ago. Oh, I haven't had you read it yet. Okay, but I'll send you the new one anyway. You put it on your shelf or whatever. But no, it's over 30. And sometimes I look at my shelf and say, I can't believe that I had all those words in my head. You know, if you think, it's mind-boggling. You know, if you think,
you can really tell a story.
Right. And you don't tell
entertaining.
Huh?
So you don't tell short ones either.
No.
It's a story with a lot of players. It's one that you spend time with.
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Well, you know, the hard part is being consistent, because when you tell a short story, you got everything pretty much in a box. But when you extend it out, especially with a 2 or 3 book series, everything has to correspond, and that's hard, especially by the time you get to the 3rd book. You got to remember that so-and-so has brown eyes or black eyes or whatever. You got to remember this person went to the army. That's the hard part. And that's why I decided that this current book, Double Lives, is a standalone story. It's not a continuation, because I was done with the Wiggins characters. You know, there's nothing else for them to do. And so that's why I like standalone stories as opposed to, because I've been reading James Patterson's book with Alex Cross, his Black Detective. I think it's up to like book number 25 of that series, you know, and I just stopped reading it. You know, it's just like, I got so boggled down in it, trying to remember back to the first book and so on.
Okay.
I still don't know if I read those books in order.
I haven't read anything. I read one book by James Patterson.
With the Black
grab me.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't an Alex Cross book.
Oh, that was a good
book altogether.
I like the Alex Cross books. I just don't think I've read them in order. I usually just pick up a book.
That's the problem. Because he's got so many. Every time I look on Amazon, he's got 5 more. Him and Danielle still, you know.
I are they writing all those books, or do they have people who are writing them for them?
I wonder.
I know you don't know. I just, to me, when it's like a cookie cutter, like it's just churning them out, they lose they
I've
lose
heard that he doesn't write his own books anymore, that he actually,
Really?
I've only heard this. I don't know for sure, but I have read somewhere that he
Uh-huh.
doesn't write his own books anymore. He actually has,
Puts his name on them.
right. They kind of ghostwrite them
Something like
for him.
that too. I heard something like that too. Yeah, and with Danielle Still, I read when she first started out. I read
Is she
all
still
of that.
living?
Yeah, she just put a new book out last week.
Oh,
But see, her books, if you
I'm
take,
not laughing, but she
if you
was writing too many books. I read her stuff a long time ago, and
uh-huh,
then
and
then
it's
it
the
just
same
got to be
story.
too much.
Always a beautiful woman, and this and that.
Yeah,
She
it
just
was all
can't
it was the same
give
story
style.
over and over.
So I just kind of said, well, I've read all her stuff, even the stuff she hasn't written yet. So
Yeah, yeah. I read her stuff years ago. And there's
yeah.
another author that I read. He had good books. He wrote a Hotel, and I can't think of
Arthur,
his name. Uh,
I
is
know
it
he
Haley? Is his last
Haley.
name Haley?
I think it was Arthur Haley.
Yeah, I think
Arthur
so.
Haley. Uh-huh.
He had some good books.
Yeah, he did. And Sidney Sheldon was my favorite at one time.
Sidney Sheldon was good
Yeah.
too. I really liked his books.
Really
And
good.
they turned some of them into TV series, like
Yeah.
Rich Man, Poor Man. You
Oh,
remember
I
Rich
love
Man,
Rich
Poor
Man, Poor
Man?
Man.
That
That
was
was
an
good.
amazing series.
That was really good.
It was really, really, really good. Some,
Uh-huh.
back in the day when they used to do TV series, they don't do now. It's
They don't do
streaming,
that now.
but they
I mean,
used
they
to
do
have
stuff
the
on
TV
Netflix.
series.
They do stuff on Netflix
Right now, it's on streaming.
and
But they
Zulu.
used to have the series that
Movie
would
of the
come
week.
on. That's how, and we talked about this. Was it last week we talked about it? It must have been the week before because I wasn't really on the show last week before a few minutes. But when Roots first came out, I was telling Rhonda and the other guest that was on, the original Roots was a national event when it came out.
Absolutely. Seven nights or 8
It was
nights?
7 nights,
7
and the
nights.
whole country was watching.
Or I think the whole world country, black and white.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was an
It was
amazing. That's why it's
phenomenal
hard
event.
for me to say that the remake. And I understand they try to appeal to a younger, a new generation.
They
But the
remade it?
original Roots, yeah, they did
Yeah,
a new one.
Oh my
remade
God. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
they did.
they remade it and they tried to make it a little bit more historically accurate with certain things. Yeah, I mean, I thought they did a good job with it. It's never going to be the original, but I thought they did a great job with the remake.
Was it on Netflix or what channel was
No,
it on?
it was on. Wasn't it on
It
TV?
came
It
on
was
regular
on a
TV.
cable. It was on a cable channel.
Which-
It was on TV.
I'm sure you could probably find it on demand or
I'm
something.
gonna Google that. I'm gonna look that up. I didn't even know.
Yeah, it would seem like it was like 5 years ago. It may be a little bit longer than that.
I
Yeah,
think
they did a little bit more research on the Mandinka warriors, and they wanted to make sure that at least the Africa scenes were more historically accurate and told the story of the Mandinka warriors and who they were. As I said, I thought they did a good job with.
Who was in it? Who was the stars?
Who were the stars? I don't remember, but I know that the young man who played Toby was a lot younger, because they said Toby was actually younger than he was depicted in the original.
Because he was
So they got a younger guy to play him.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I really got to look into that and compare, like I did with the Color Purple, the old one and the new one.
No, it wasn't a musical like they did with the Color Purple.
Well, I didn't care for the new one that much. I love the old one.
Well, I didn't like the original. I didn't.
I like
but I won't even get into that. But I only saw it once, and I didn't really like it. And so I know people love the Color Purple, but I never. It was never something that I liked.
Well, I don't know. It was all right,
And I didn't look at the musical. I don't know if I would like it as a musical if I didn't like it as a.
I didn't care for it as
without the music. I don't know if music would help me like it, but it's on Max now. It says HBO Max. It was on 2 months ago. It got to streaming fast.
Well, I watched it last week. I paid, it was $5.99. I had 48 hours to watch it.
Okay.
So I watched it, then I paused it I had to do some stuff and I finished watching it. But I said they should have left this alone.
Yeah, I think I probably would have liked it better had they not made it a musical and
Me too. That's what I didn't like.
Oh, okay.
They be doing something serious, and the next thing you know, they tap dancing and singing and doing that. And that was me, that was distracting.
It's like watching a play on the movie screen.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like watching a play on the movie screen. But I will tell you this:
yeah.
if we're gonna talk about movies,
hmm
I finally saw American Fiction and I loved it.
Now, who's that? What's that? American Fiction?
American Fiction. It's actually about this Black author who
Uh-huh.
he's bougie, and you know he only like he feels that he's an author who happens to be Black, not
Let
so
me
much
write
Black
that down.
author.
American Fiction?
Yes.
Okay, I
And
got
then he decides to write a really trashy book, and he just, you know, that was real stereotypical. And he thought that he was spitting in the eye of the industry, but the industry actually loved it, and he was mad that they
Really?
loved the book so much. It was really good.
Now, where is it? Did you see it at the theater or is it streaming somewhere?
I refused to go to the theater, so it's fine. I finally found it on demand, and
What is it on?
well, I just went to I'm still one of those people who still has cable. So I just went to on demand and
Oh, I
typed
have
in
cable.
American Fiction.
I can live without my cable.
I have
YouTube.
cable. So, but so what channel? So if I go to my search,
No, but that's what I did. I just went to on demand
okay.
Okay.
and then
On
typed
demand.
in American Fiction and it came up.
Okay, well, I'll see if it's there
But
because
you can just
I
go
haven't
search
looked.
and it'll come up too. Because that's how I find a lot of old movies and various movies. Just do a search. Put in the title. Put in the title.
Yeah, just do a
Yeah.
search. But I think that's a movie. I mean, I think that's a movie probably every author should watch because it was just
I definitely want to see it. I'm gonna look for it tonight.
It's actually nominated for an Oscar.
Really?
Yeah, didn't it win for screenwriting or something?
I think it might have won. It might have won for screenwriter.
The screenplay.
The main character was nominated for best actor.
Well, I'm gonna look into that tonight.
Yeah, I didn't know it was on demand, so I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look for it too because I haven't been to a movie theater
years. I have been. Years.
I've been twice since COVID. I went to see Top Gun, the remake, and I went to see.
They remade Top Gun.
Oh yeah, it was big. It was good too.
Last year, wasn't it? The year before? Last year?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. I've been to 2 movies at the theater since COVID.
Well, I haven't because I have extensive Xfinity on demand, and anything that comes out, like when the Rita Franklin story came out with Jennifer Hudson. 3 weeks later, I watched it on TV.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, why even go unless?
Why even go?
You know,
spend all that money on popcorn and hot dogs.
Well, I don't buy snacks when I go. I eat.
I take my own. I sneak my own.
I eat before I go because the prices make me lose my appetite. I will not pay $15 for popcorn.
Well, you know what we did back in the day? We stopped at the gas station and got our snacks and put them in.
I've done that, not lately, but I did that before. Got my hot dog and whatever, chicken. I told chicken.
Because you're going to get back some popcorn and a hot dog.
But it wasn't a bag.
Oh my goodness. I gotta say, I know we're running out of time, but
this is so much fun.
No, we love it when you come on the show. We always digress.
So, Minnie, do you have a copy of Double Lives? Do you have a copy of it?
Who, me?
Yeah, so you can show us the cover.
A bunch of copies. You want where
I go get one so our viewers can see what the cover looks like. So when they go to download it,
right,
they will get the right book.
Yeah, I love the cover. They showed me more than one cover before. They always show
okay. Okay, so it's called Double Lives. It's about some interesting twins.
Identical
and you can't go wrong with the Mary Monroe book. I never read one that wasn't a page turner. And I read a bunch of her books.
Okay, there it is.
Okay, well, congratulations, Mary. We're at the end of our time.
Oh,
so we really appreciate you coming on, and
I appreciate you.
I'm so happy that you're continuing to write.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And you'll have something else out next year, so we'll bring you on then. for
Okay.
whenever that one comes out.
And the link to Double Lives is in the chat, everybody. So let's make sure we continue to support this book.
Good. Thank you.
This is the fourth,
Okay,
this is the fourth in the Lexington, Alabama series,
Yeah,
correct?
it's number 4.
number
Uh,
4.
But
Okay.
it's a standalone book. It's a standalone story.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, thanks again, Mary, and you have a great evening, and we'll
Yeah.
see you soon.
Yeah, okay. Be safe.
Okay.
Okay,
All
bye.
right. You too.
Bye.
All right.
Okay, so we're at the end of our show,
was a
and
fun
this was a fun show. We laughed a lot. I think we laughed more on this show than we have in a long time. There's just so much material. So anyway, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll be back next week with another amazing episode of Black Authors Matter TV. And don't forget that we're announcing the finalists for the Black Authors Matter TV Awards for 2024 on next week's show. And you can keep voting until midnight Thursday. I'm Gwen Richardson signing off for this week.
And I'm Dr. Rhonda Lawson. Have a wonderful evening and a great week.
Thank you for tuning in, and join us next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern for another edition of Black Authors Matter TV.